the state turned around and said, yeah, okay, you're going to act like that, then we're going to yank your preferential treatment. Now
whenever I hear someone go after DeSantis, I usually, and by usually I mean it's like 99% of the time, they obviously don't know what they're talking about because they put all this extra into the bill that was never there. Phantom says, I love comics, but haven't followed anything in a while. Usually stick to comics in the 80s and before. Not a bad way to go. A lot of people are choosing to do that. MK is asking about X-Men 97, about the writer wanting to make it. Well, he didn't say he wanted to. He said it was going to inform him being a gay black man is going to inform the X-Men 97. And as soon as I read that, my eyes they went to slot machine rolling. It was
they did, but I will say this: I will at least give the show a chance, because there was the earlier stuff about the fact that they were looking to hire people that were familiar with the cartoon and had a love of the cartoon. So we'll see. And hey, it's a half-hour cartoon. I mean, be able to tell immediately within 2 episodes.
I read the interview.
Well, X-Men been doing this for years. This ain't new.
I read the interview. It didn't satisfy me completely, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be, oh, well, there are gay icons, blah, 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 which you're hearing a lot now. Excuse me. But the thing is just anytime they bring identity politics into it, like I said, my eyes roll straight up. It's just an automatic thing. And then, that's going to be informed by me being a gay black man. Okay. Look, here's the thing. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've been saying it since for 7 years now. X-Men is everybody. There was a time, by the way, Stan Lee in the 80s said he didn't plan on it. Stan Lee about to die said he did. But there was a time when everybody was saying, okay, well, the X-Men, you got Magneto, he's Malcolm X. You got Professor X, he's Martin Luther King. And they decided, okay, well, they want to make it about black people. No.
Yep.
No, sorry. It's not about black people. It's not about gay people. It's about all people. It's about everybody. Because at some point in time, everyone feels like an outsider. Everyone feels awkward. Everyone has that moment. And that's why when it was written well, it hit with everyone. And I got to tell you, if you weren't raised from like, what was it, 1975 with Giant Size X-Men #1 all the way to about 1996, 97, you have no freaking clue how big the X-Men were. Everyone was reading the X-Men. Everyone was reading. It's kind of like somebody trying to explain to you Batmania in the 60s or Beatlemania in the 60s. Yeah. Okay, you got an idea. We saw Help. We know. No, we have no idea. You have no freaking clue how if you weren't there, you have no freaking clue how big Batman 89 was. And so it's just on that same level. You have no idea how freaking big the X-Men were. You could only hear about it. You can understand it. But if you weren't there, this thing was everywhere. Every comic book reader. You could be hardcore DC. You were still reading those freaking X-Men books.
Well, yeah. I mean, people don't understand. I mean, especially what was that late 90s. So when you had the kind of split and you had Uncanny X-Men, and then suddenly the brand new adjectiveless X-Men #1 came out. And the only gimmicks were multiple covers.
Yeah.
And that
not exactly. Remember, we had Armstrong in the 90s.
I thought you were talking about the 80s.
Yeah, but that
Onslaught was way later.
No, Armstrong in the 90s.
It's later in the 90s. We're talking about 91. You're talking about 96.
Yeah, but that book, that X-Men #1, sold millions.
Yeah,
millions.
It amazes me when I see people trying to get 10 or $12 off of that X-Men #1. At this point in time, it should just be issued to people. Seriously, actually, that's not a bad way to go. Let's see. Rhaegar saying Antebellum is the best movie ever, you bigots. Phantasm saying, I prefer the original Savage She-Hulk storyline. It added a lot of character and depth to Bruce Banner. You know what? I got that for Christmas.
Yeah.
Talk about.
Yeah. Well, I did want to finish up.
I got that for Christmas.
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Dan Schwartz book, right? From Dan Schwartz.
No, the Savage.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to finish up one thing with Alonzo. So tonight, what came out, or I saw on Twitter, is I guess her lawyer has responded saying that, well, the full story hasn't come out. The lawyer is claiming that the reason she was fired is because she refused to do something that Disney wanted her to do that she found reprehensible. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're actually willing to go scorched earth. So they're going to be a lot more to the story.
Right. But were the original X-Men that pop? Yes, very much so. Thirsting.
Well, I mean, if Breen were here, yeah, I was going to say, if Breen were here, he would tell you, when it originally came out, it wasn't necessarily that popular. It certainly fell off to the point where they were doing reprints.
Yeah. Well, that was before Giant. That's why I mentioned Giant Size X-Men. It was with the Giant Size X-Men that they started to gain popularity and so forth. Let's see what we're getting.
I think with the 80s, it was probably 80s, right? Not the 70s. 70s was still with Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. Not Steve Ditko. It was Jack Kirby and no, it was still in Jack Kirby. My bad. I got that mixed up. Sorry.
Not the Shield. I must have misunderstood their Phantasm. Now Ahsoka is talking about something with interracial relationships. I'm not sure the black women are getting ratio because of stuff. They don't see the hypocrisy of them thirsting after white men and putting down black men. You know what I thought was kind of weird? When I was in my early 20s, this is before I met Gail, I was dating this black girl, and there was a guy that worked for me, and he had a white girlfriend. And he would bring her up to watch movies and such like this. When I brought my girlfriend in, he was like, "Oh, hell no." Like, well, what the fuck are you've got a white girl. He goes, no, you can't date our women. I said, well, this one's not yours. But it kind of surprised me that he was so okay with dating white girls, but hated the idea of a black girl dating a white guy. That mindset just didn't compute. What you gonna do? Cartoon said Nightcrawler is a great representative of Eastern Europe struggling to adapt. I have these problems, and I am a third generation. Still have my Slavic accent, and I am 90% more. Okay. I guess I don't know. I haven't seen what they're doing with Nightcrawler except for they're making him into a demon.
Not exactly. You control by make the Sinister, I know. Because Sinister controlled everything the Sinister.
Well, I know too with some of the Krakoa stuff,
90% religion. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, they made him go a little, not say crazy, but certainly questioning because the Nightcrawler that we know and love is the devout Christian, or I'd say even possibly Roman Catholic. And so with, Krakoa now that, there's basically just rebirth and essentially the X-Men are immortal, started him questioning, where, whether there's a God and or who is God and, are they, violating the divine and different things like that. So, yeah. And of course, I mean, there's nobody in the X office that could competently write, Nightcrawler.
I miss Hickman.
You could end the sentence and competently right.
Yeah.
No,
let's see.
Hickman's not in the X office right now. So.
One of my cousins has the entire Submariner Doctor. The supervillain team up. Let's see. Also, I have some Civil War stuff, some World War I. There's so many different conversations coming our way here. Okay, because I thought something happened to the Justice Society. All righty, Michael. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this new trade paperback. We're talking about the incompetency of DC Comics. This new trade paperback they're putting out about the what was it? The Black Rain storyline, the Justice Society, Volume 5. What was it?
It's Black Rain.
Yeah, and they got it completely out of order to the point where they put issue number 27 in front of 26, issue number 58 in front of 57. So they just kind of like threw everything in to send it out. And we're just talking about how it is indicative of how much DC Comics especially seems to have given up. Weird thing is, go back to the beginning of this channel. Shit you not. Go back to the beginning of this channel. I used to do weekly countdowns, and this was what readers are buying from the shops. It wasn't Comicron because that's what's being sold to stores. Once again, I said this 7 years ago. I'll say it again today. You're not Marvel's customer. You are not DC's customer. You are the comic shop's customer. Marvel and DC's customers are the comic shops. So they have to convince, of course, the Marvel and DC has to convince the comic shops that you want all of these books. So be very, very clear with them. But this just shows they don't give a they'll throw it out there. Somebody's going to buy it. Or the comic shops are going to get stuck with all these broken books. Marvel doesn't care. They got their sales. A long time ago, it used to be that comic shops could return unsold books. You would say, if you've ever seen like an old comic with the title ripped off, or the indicia, what is it, indicia, whatever it is, symbol torn off.
Right.
That's because that's what they had to do. You tear the title off. You send all the titles off to Marvel or DC, you get partial refund. Marvel and DC were on the hook for shit books that couldn't sell.
Yep.
They stopped that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the worst mistakes for comic book shops. Being able to return that shit puts some of the responsibility in Marvel and DC to put out stuff that people actually want.
Well, again, that's where comic books were more like magazines, because it was a periodical. It was defined as a periodical, and especially when you had newsstands selling it, they had to have returnability the same way, or they wanted returnability the same way that they had, with magazines.
With the magazines, yeah.
You would see the same thing.
It was the introduction of the specialty shop, the comic shop. They did deals that took that away. Phantom saying, I understand updating characters, but I felt changing Frank Castle from Vietnam vet to modern warfare was disrespectful because Vietnam vets had little representation, and an aged Castle is cool. I'm with you a little bit on that, but if Castle was a Vietnam vet, he'd be 70 years old. I know this because my father is a Vietnam vet.
And yet they're keeping Magnet O as an Auschwitz survivor.
Yeah, as an Auschwitz. Yeah, they've buzzed him with all sorts of energy to keep him young. Magneto should be decrepit and old and on his
dead at this point.
Well, he's drawing energy from the magnetic field of the Earth. So
there you go. There you go.
Him youthful. I mean, at least there's an explanation, or if that is the explanation. But I mean,
at least for each other.
I mean, Frank Castle's made multiple deals with demons before.
Here's the thing: he's doing a hand now. He actually now controls the beast.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with that is, of course, if you're trying to then keep Magneto and Professor X the same age, then you've got to craft some kind of wild explanation for why Professor X hasn't aged either, or it becomes that Magneto was a young child in World War II and he didn't meet Xavier until the 60s or what have you, and Magneto basically stopped aging or was aging slower, so it looked closer.
You could do the open order Magneto, make older Magneto, then that order move urge your family with an expo. I don't know. Open order Magneto is weird. It would confuse them in no sense. I hate open order, but the museum and open universe.
Well, occasionally they do. Occasionally they do updates because they're supposed to kind of update them, right? Unless they're going to soap opera them, the character dies off. Okay, he's no longer or they recast or whatever. But point being is that General Hospital's been the same freaking cast, and they're getting older. They're dying off. It should be like that. If they're not going to reboot and do that, then you have to keep rebooting the origin. You have to keep rebooting them a little bit. Yeah, I saw that they have a Super Sons omnibus out now.
Yep.
Let's see. Tell you, Dad, if you said welcome home. My dad's been home for quite a bit. It's kind of weird when my dad, he's going through early dementia. He's got Alzheimer's. It's not horrible yet. The worst thing is he's got no short-term memory, and a lot of our conversations is me repeating things because he'll say stuff like are you and Gail what are you and Gail gonna do today? Okay, we're gonna go out. It's her actually it is her birthday today. We're gonna go out tomorrow. We're gonna go out tomorrow. She wants to go to this Brazilian steakhouse. We're gonna do that kind of thing. Okay, so we'll talk.
So no option tomorrow.
5 minutes later, he'll go. So what are you and Gail gonna do today? And he'll say it like he never asked the question. And that's been the way he has been for about two or 3 years now. But the thing is he remembers the Vietnam War like it was yesterday.
That's sad.
Everything. That had a incredible impact on his life, obviously. And that's not to say it's the only thing. He remembers our lives younger as well. Definitely as much as you would anyway, the big stuff. But weird things happen. I got called once to tell, because my dad was talking to my mom and they got into a fight. And the conversation was about the trip he and I took to Thailand. We never went to Thailand together. He went to Thailand on leave during Vietnam War. And I didn't. I went during my midlife crisis. And he actually said, yeah, but you remember when we did this? And obviously he was explaining, one of his army buddies. And I said, Dad, I never had it wasn't, he was actually arguing. I said, no, Pop, I'm 20 years younger than him. I'm 22 years. I'm 22 years younger than you. I didn't go at the same time as you. And it kind of popped into his head. But he's got that going on. But he'll remember the Vietnam War like nobody's business. I've been collecting the stories. I've been writing them down. When I feel I do my father justice, and it might be the fact that I'm just making it to, I've got to be perfect instead of good enough is not enough. But I've been writing his story down. I've got a book I want to do. It's called A Guy Named Jack, and it's about like the opening. The dedication is straight up for those who shot but did not get shot, for those who killed who did not get killed. And it's supposed to be towards, because people like my dad who had this horrible experience and they came home to have another horrible experience of raising kids. So there you go. Anyway, that's serious stuff. Let's move on a little bit. All the technical stuff is usually found on the bottom of the first page. It's called the Indis. Yeah, I'm never Indisha. Thank you, Austin P. That's one of those words I have only read. I have never heard that out loud. Seriously. It's kind of weird that happens, but yeah, I've never actually heard anyone say that word. Let's see. He was canonically 7 during the time. The youngest he could be is about 85 years old. I think it would be kind of cool to actually have a run that like kind of the Ultimate Universe. Let him get old.
Yeah, that's what I just said earlier. I mentioned that before.
Yep.
That was the Life Story universe.
Stallone is in his 70s and did Rambo pretty well in the 4th movie. Yeah, I like that movie.
I remember cool. Screw the haters. I think the movie was badass.
It will get horrible, I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through it. It's rough. All I've ever wanted to be, I never had delusions of grandeur. Ooh, I'm going to be an astronaut, blah, whatever. I didn't know this young. I knew it as soon as I got married, that who I wanted to be in life, what I wanted to be in life was my father. I wanted to be the kind of guy who, and this is my father. My father is not a tall man. He's shorter than I am. But I have never seen a room he walked into that he did not command. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. If he starts talking, people start listening. And I thought that was so cool. He was funny but serious. He knows when to tell a joke, knows when it's time to put big boy pants on. My father is exactly what I wanted to be in life. And I had this conversation. We were talking, and I mentioned to him, I said, you know what I think? I said, I think I am you without the Vietnam War, because all of his, all of it, seems to that made him a lot more serious than I ever have been anyway. Happy birthday to Gail, says MK. I will pass that on. And by the way, I do. Anytime we talk about her, I tell her everything. Part of us getting back together after we had our separation, I went to Thailand. You guys know I didn't know I got married, but I got married to a Thai girl. When we got back together, me and Gail, the one thing that I told her, I said, understand this. I will never lie to you again. So if you have a question, you make sure you want to hear the truth. But the thing is anytime we talk about her, I tell her. Anytime anything comes up that involves her, I tell her. I'm 100% honest with her. Yeah. Anyway, that's hard, man. My friend's father had to constantly remind his grandmother that Pop passed. Yikes. That's harsh. Yeah, sorry to hear it. I'm starting to think that might be a good idea to retire some of the Golden Age Marvel characters in the 616. Otherwise, it's just stretching. Yeah, well, technically Magneto's a Silver Age character, but his origin is definitely Golden Age.
I say we try Spider-Man. I'm saying to you, let Spider-Man be a father. It can work. Let Spider-Man be the main one universe. On winning Marvel, your bullshit plan doesn't work anymore.
He will die on. Nick Fury is a World War II vet as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, again,
wait, Nick Fury. There's no Nick Fury, and then the other Nick Fury Jr. and open Nick Fury.
Dude, who do you think I'm talking about? The one that was a freaking World War II?
Yeah, the white Nick Fury, the white guy. Yep.
Well, that's just a life model decoy at this point. But
you know what? I think that would have been the perfect explanation. Why? How is Nick Fury so young? Nick Fury he's dead in a bed somewhere, and the life model decoys keep regenerating.
No, the old Nick Fury is trapped on the moon, while
I know what the reality is.
Yeah. That's but since I haven't let nothing pass.
Oh, sure.
He's no one to watch anymore. He's human.
Yeah. But once again, Tevye, yeah, it'd be great if Peter was the father and Peter and MJ were together. But again, what editors currently at Marvel would you want to try and shepherd that story? What writer that they would hire would you possibly?
I want them to do it.
My father's memory started fading about 2 or 3 years ago. That I noticed, by the way. That doesn't mean like it became noticeable where he was asking questions every 5 or 6 minutes, the same one. That became noticeable. I was doing a lot of talk. My father getting older, I was doing a lot of time because I do want to get those stories out there. This is kind of, I'm feeling the way towards my dad, towards a lot of Vietnam veterans. the way I remember Tom Hanks was after he did Saving Private Ryan. He was really paying attention to the fact that at this point in time, back then anyway, during the turn of the century, all the World War II veterans are dying off. Well, we are there now with our Vietnam veterans. They're getting older. They're in their 70s. They're in their 80s. So, if you have a person who is a veteran, by all means, get those stories. Because in a little bit, the people who would tell them, they're going to be gone. What do you mean DC screwed up the JSA? Well, Daffy, we talked about that a little bit ago. It has to do with their incompetence completely.
Yeah.
Because they put out a trade paperback where all of the books that they collected were out of order. So it's supposed to be one storyline, but they printed it all out of order and just pushed it out there. And to me, it was indicative of a larger problem that we were talking about.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, certainly, although I necessarily have noticed it recently, but then again, I haven't been reading a lot of DC books lately, but there was a good period, certainly last year, where almost every week you could count on some kind of serious printing error, page in the wrong place, dialogue bubbles in the wrong place.
Yep.
That DC had just absolutely horrible editorial and quality control. Again, when you do something like this, it passes through multiple hands, and and the editors are responsible for it. And it shows again right now who's being hired and who's being retained by these companies.
I wish the goodness Kindergarten was dead. Thank God. That book was horrible. Holy shit! You want to talk about the Kindergarten book? That book was garbage from the very beginning.
I like this one. I like this quote right here. When his dad goes on rants, Vietnam gets bombed.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know you're not supposed to do this, but the book starts. I've got the dedication, and then I want to start off. We have 2 word bubbles, one going to my dad, one going to me. We see the cell phone, which I'm recording him on, and talking about, okay, yeah, but just tell your stories. We're going to talk about it, and your experience in the war, yada yada. And he says, I never thought I would be so good at it. I growing up, and the way I was raised, the way I went to San Francisco, and this is true of this, the true story. He says, I went to San Francisco. I was going to be part of the brotherly love. I never had an inkling that I would be so good at it. I said, what, war? And he says, no. And I swear to God, this is from my father's lips. He looks at me and goes, no, killing. That right there sent a fucking chill up my back when I heard my father say that. It's just something, because I know my dad was in a war, but you never think about that kind of stuff. And he turned out to be good at it. I sat in on a conference, and there were people, he was a lieutenant, and there were people who actually said, I think I survived because of you. Fucking tears going down my face. Freaking tears going down my face when somebody said that. On another note, says Phantasm, a question for everybody. What is your favorite Golden Age hero? LK, do you have a favorite Golden Age hero?
Oh boy. Well, again, defining Golden Age.
Golden Age would be before Barry Allen. It should be before Martian Manhunter. He came out a couple of months before Barry Allen, but we do it by the Flash. So that makes Martian Manhunter a Golden Age character.
Oh,
wait,
geez.
they forced the Martian Manhunter to come out now? God damn it, DC.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, if we're talking, I mean, my heart says Zatanna, but I mean, she hasn't been in wasn't
Silver
even
Age.
in a ton of stuff.
Zatara is a Golden Age, but Zatanna is Silver Age.
Okay, so then, if you want, I mean, talking, true Golden Age, or maybe even before Golden Age, then I'll go with the Phantom Lady.
Phantom Lady? Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, Tev? You have a favorite Golden Age character?
I got one very going in. Captain Marvel at the Big Bad and the Mulberry.
That's
That's
a
my very going in.
great choice.
I love
Captain
Jimmy
Marvel
Jr. my favorite.
Adventures. Yeah.
Well, I always remember, but kind of more because I love more because I love his character, the Mulberry, and I love him kind of more Jr. and OG Captain Marvel. You
Wiz
look at
Comics,
everybody,
Captain Marvel Jr., Marvel Family, All American Comics. All of those are great books. Highly, I agree with you. How about you, Black Cat?
I would say my favorite character normally, which the guy that debuted on Detective Comics 38.
Batman.
Oh, good Lord, you did not say that. That's Detective Comics 27. I do believe you're talking Robin.
Dick Grayson Nightwing,
Yeah,
as in the whole character.
Okay. Back then he was Robin.
Like in general, that character is my favorite.
I love Wonder Woman comics from the Golden Age. I love them. I think they're fan freaking tabulous. But the one that grabbed me when I first picked up that book in 1974, the one that would tell me, "Hey, you're going to be reading these for the rest of your life," that was Plastic Man. I freaking love police comics. I love the Adventures of Plastic Man. They're fun. They're funny. Flash is good. Wonder Woman is very entertaining in the Golden Age. So they would probably be my favorite. But Plastic Man was top notch for me. And anyway, let's see. Let me scroll down. I'm talking. I missed some comments.
Well, I mean, there was definitely some good video game stuff in there. So, Ron, I don't necessarily hire class of video game players. I mean, most of us gamers are degenerates in one way or another. So, of course, I'm a member of the PC Master Race usually, but I also have my Xbox One for that. Okay. So I don't game as much as I'd like to. Just part of it is I just kind of get sidetracked. Either like suddenly get sucked into watching videos on YouTube, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I need to start getting ready for bed here. So
sorry to hear about your aunt there, Cartoons. My aunt had schizophrenia. She passed away, but she was a genius, had a degree on veterinarian. She was 21, youngest vet teacher in the state. Wow. It's good, when you kind of, I mean, you love your family, but if there's someone there you idolize, it's something, and it's from family. It's not from the outside. It's one thing when, a lot of people, if they like basketball, they'll look at like LeBron or something, or Michael Jordan or something. But when you can find that inspiration within family, it's something.
Yeah, definitely.
My grandfather lived almost to 100, says Ahsoka. What's up, Ron? Cool. How you doing? Are you guys going to see 65 with Adam Driver? Not twice. I already saw it.
How was it? I heard pretty good things about it.
Hey, John, wait. Which one? Fear of the Gods? I think Fear of the Gods is a great movie.
I am behind on my movie reviews, so I will be recording some tonight.
Nice.
I wrote them down. These are the ones that I have seen and have not reviewed, so I've got to go through all of these.
Holy cow.
Yeah, plain doggone Skinamarink, Shotgun Wedding, Sorry About the Demon, Jung E, Price We Pay, 80 for Brady, You People, Knock at the Cabin Door, There's Something Wrong with the Children, Ant-Man. We talked about it, me and Dalton, but I want to do my own. Cocaine Bear, 65, Scream 6, Shazam, Children of the Corn. What did me and Gil watch recently? The Doom that came to Gotham.
You don't have Operation Fortune on there.
I already reviewed.
No John McFoy? Or
Operation Fortune, the Jason Statham action flick. That was a ton of fun.
And John Wick, which I saw today. So
I want to see John Wick this Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, look who's popped in so late. Hey, Frog. Well,
what's up? Come on in, man.
If you'd been here at the beginning, what's wrong with the JSA is they screwed up printing the latest trade paperback.
How are you doing, by the way? Saw John Wick, awesome movie. Had a lot of fun with John Wick. Like I said, I'll do a full review for the channel, but The quick one was, this is not a movie. If you want deep characters and lots of dialogue, don't bother with this one, because it is balls out action for 2 hours and 40 minutes. It will have, hi, how are you? Yeah. Busy day, right, John? You gonna kill somebody? I might kill you. You think you can kill me? I think we better start. Run, clink, 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 clink.
Bang.
Clear out of a room full of men. Go right on to the next one. I have never seen a movie, much less a movie series, so in freaking love with the idea of being a filmed first-person shooter. You remember that movie Hardcore Harry or Hardcore Henry? They should do that with John Wick. Let's see that. But there's a scene in this movie. I'm not going to spoil too many things, I promise. But there is a scene in this movie where he's running through a house, and it's a top down, and it's a one-shotter. So they're following him go through this, and it looks like one of those old 1990s where you were looking on the top and you were the shooter guy, and but it's a shooter video game put to this big screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I have to.
Olga Henry, which is third person. This movie is a third person action movie game.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to. I'm curious to go look if it ever actually got into commercial release. But when I went to PAX East, now what was that, 5 years ago? They had a VR setup that was a John Wick game, where you.
That's cool.
You put the goggles on, and basically, you were essentially, quote unquote, hiding, like on a rooftop and hiding behind cover, and trying to take out snipers and what have you. It was fun. I mean, for especially early on, VR.
Oh, we got a. Holy crap! I'm so far behind on. Well, anyway, thanks for the super chat from Ron Rugg. Thank you very much for the super chat. I just want to support my comic godfather. Hey, also, I'm sorry, but busy week. Can I get you to let me I'll know what I owe you from Monday? Yeah, actually, I think I got it right here.
Yeah. So, and since you haven't gotten down to the chat yet, the Frog is asking, is there an auction tomorrow?
Oh, son of a bitch. Yes, there is. But, son of a bitch. Okay. As far as I know, there is. Look, I want to. I talked to my wife about it, and this is what was said. I told everybody there'd be an auction on Saturday, Saturday. But it is her birthday, and if she decides, hey, let's stay out,
I'd say one of those takes priority over the other, but it's up to you to decide which one you think is the higher priority.
Yeah, my wife. But I need the money because next week is MegaCon. I was actually thinking of maybe doing two, one tomorrow, and then I know I'd be on my own, but do one maybe Wednesday or something because, next week is MegaCon. Let's see, I got some Batman, some Superman, some Action Comics, some Detective Comics, something called Unsacred. We've got some other things in there. We've got hopefully, they'll show up. I've got a whole bunch of Legion of Superheroes comics coming in as well. So those
is horrible.
If those come in on time, I'll throw those at least some of those into the comic auction. I already have next week's ordered. So and next week is going to be also some Batman books. This week is Detective. Next week is Batman books. And the big dog this week that I got was the Superman Makes a Porno with Big Barda issue. And
that.
And next week will be the first appearance of Spoiler, Stephanie Brown, and the first appearance of Ventriloquist. So we'll have that.
I think be a couple.
Now, Yeah,
I wanted to, okay, but yeah, fingers crossed. We are doing an auction tomorrow.
okay. Well,
But
Eric's
once
saying,
again,
Eric's
my
saying
wife
do
is
the
the
auction
boss.
Monday.
Say again.
Eric is saying do the auction Monday because he doesn't want you moving in with him after you.
No, I cleared it with her, by the way. I absolutely said, I told her, I said I had planned on doing an auction because she didn't know it was her birthday. We've had so much shit going on. You guys might not know, but our car got repossessed and they were not telling us where to go get it. It was fucking pissing me off to no end. And so we had family here. We had a lot of shit going on. And she actually lost track of her birthday. So when everything kind of cooled down a little bit, she goes, "Oh shit, tomorrow's my birthday. And I said, "Oh, well, shit, you work." And she goes, "We could go out Saturday." And I went, "Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll pick up Elizabeth because she works until 4, and we'll go to a restaurant. I'll tell Elizabeth, grab a shirt so you can change on the way to a restaurant." And I said, maybe if you want to see a movie or something, because she used to not like going to movies, but now that all the good ones have those freaking recliners, looks like you're sitting in a Barcalounger. She loves them. So I told her, whatever you want to do, we'll do. And then I went, "Oh, fuck, auction." I said, "Oh, I was going to do an auction on Saturday." And she goes, "Well, we don't have to go out." And I said, "No, it's your birthday. We're going out. We're going to do something. But if you want to come home early, we come home early. If you want to stick around, if you want to go home, you're okay with that." I know my wife. Yeah. I know her very well. She will. I lost the light over here, so I'm getting that bleed again. I know her. She'll go to whatever restaurant we go to, and then she'll probably go, "I need a nap." Yeah. So we'll probably come home. I don't know if we'll do the auction. I'm confident we'll do an auction tomorrow, but if we don't, it'll probably start around 9:00 instead of 8. So there you go. Okay. Once again, RDV, Eric, come on in, man. Come on in.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry about the long personal stories. I share everything here, I guess. Ronald Rugg was saying, "I wanted to send you some comics. Can I mail it to the return address on your shipments?" Yes, sir. That is actually my home. So a lot of people would be afraid to do that. Okay, it's my home. Yeah. Let's see. Talking to Jay. Let's see. Estelle, Natural Born of the Void is my favorite boss. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Yeah, did you know that the series Man from Atlantis was in concept supposed to be about Namor, but production couldn't get the rights? I heard that.
What?
Yeah,
I thought they had the rights already.
I heard about that before. Hey, Maranya, what's up? If Gail said it's no problem about celebrating or holding the auction, speaking as a wife of nearly 30 years, hold the auction Monday. Hey, look, I understand, by the way, the rookie mistakes. But we also have, when we got back together, we made a pact. We are honest with each other. So there's no games. You don't play those games. "Oh, no, I don't mind, but I'm testing you to see if you really love me." No. I told her, I said, "Don't fucking test me. You know I'm going to fail. So don't test me."
Yep.
Just tell me what you want. We do that.
I would patch up the air mattress just in case.
Right. I fell for it when I was younger. When she had just had Ashley, it's like, it's kind of like when you're young, you kind of rubber band. She had the baby, big old stomach sticking out, improved her bowling game like nobody's business. She has the baby. She goes, except for now there's just a little bit of a tummy, just a little bit of a tummy. So we're sitting
Remember
around.
what you were saying about sharing too much?
Yeah. So she's watching TV with me, and we're just sitting there. We're watching TV, and she goes, "Do you think we need to lose weight?" Now she said we, and my dumb 24-year-old ass looked at me and went, "Yeah, I guess I could lose a few pounds, maybe tighten up." I just called her fat.
Nice.
I should have known. She said we, but in all honesty, she just meant her. Yeah, so I did fall for it. I did fall for it. All right, what we got going on here? If there's an auction tomorrow, it should be titled Nap Time Auctions.
Yep.
Snagged a good lot for you. Want to donate? I appreciate it, Ronald. I truly do. I always now, of course, if you do want to donate comics to the channel, this was a way to help out. Once the channel got nerfed, we started doing the auctions because I really do feel weird about e-begging. Like, oh, hey, we're in trouble, blah blah. I actually started I got onto Kickstarter. I couldn't finish it. Not Kickstarter, but GoFundMe.
Patreon.
I want to do one for Elizabeth, because she's got those bad eyes.
So
But,
Patreon maybe.
But I can't finish it. I can't finish it and such. So we started doing the auction. Thank you to Venkman for coming up with the idea. And because I figure it's an exchange, right? We're selling something. But if you do want to donate comic books instead of money or something like that with the Ko-Fi and all that kind of stuff, send them along. You can send them along as a donation, or if you want like credit off of the auction, or if you want 50-50. It's up to you. All right. Let's see. That's like relation traps 101. I know, right? She got me.
Anyway, speaking of retirement or characters going to retire, not money. One character won't need to talk to Peter Parker. Right?
Okay.
I'm allowed to be Spider-Man. I said voicing it in this didn't work. Because Julian, Peter Parker's story has been done to death. We have done a story and it's been Marvel doing the fuck they're doing. Phantasm's
trying to get us back onto the comic book track, so let's get back on the comic book track. And Phantasm is asking, are there any comic characters that are products of the time that you can think of? I have one, but LK, who would you say is absolutely a product of the time that they were created?
Oh boy, product of their
time.
time.
In the 90s.
Well, I mean, certainly. I mean, you could go, with almost any of the Image characters from the '90s. I mean, certainly anything Youngblood is absolutely a product of their time. I was trying to go back a little bit earlier, thinking about like 40s and 50s characters, because I mean, there's definitely going to be be some with some racial stereotypes and things like that in there, but you can modernize most of those pretty well. And I mean, if you've seen some of the things like Alex Ross has done with some of the public domain characters that are available. Right now I'll stick with Youngblood.
Okay, and who would you say, Tevi?
Probably at a time. That's kind of tough. If I had to choose one, well, okay, I got three.
Just one.
Damn it. Fine. I'll go with one. That's Spawn.
Spawn?
I like Spawn, good, but he's probably in the 90s. Let's be real. This guy, I like Spawn. This kind of is going weird. I'll give Tom of Fun credit over all the image credit is we just can't get consistent. We Spawn to going forward with the time he's going forward. Or other image characters, good luck. They good going.
How about you, Evil Black Cat?
Dragon.
Who would you say is a character of their time?
Ebony White.
Ebony White. Oh shit!
I know what it is.
That's most definitely Ebony White is the Spectre's black companion. Smart character.
Oh, that guy.
But he looks and he talks like Stephen Fetchit. Spirit boy, what we gonna do? It's one of those things. And he's got the big ears, the monkey face, the light section around. Horrible looking character definitely for modern times. That is absolutely a good one. As far as I might have to go to in the 90s also. Lobo is very much a character of his time. They tried to bring him up, but he is absolutely the extreme machine gunning kind of character. There's also I forget his name, but there was Extreme. I think it was Extreme. He was
Badrock?
a mutant, and he had a backwards ball cap, spikes on his shoulder.
Badrock.
No.
Oh, well, for DC, one I just suddenly thought I was definitely a character of his time would be Vibe.
Oh yeah, but 2011. the new
Hey, what
52.
you talking about? What you talking about?
Yeah, but they did manage to modernize Vibe.
Yeah. Well, and if you
Okay.
want to go modern, Riri Williams.
Ironheart.
Yeah. She's
Now,
100%.
I will at least say that she has yet to be seen because she's still new.
Yeah.
So can somebody
Yeah.
Adam X is his name. I've got this book. It's called Regrettable Superheroes. It came with a loot crate a long time ago. But yeah, this is the guy.
Who's that guy?
Adam X.
That's him.
Adam X, the extreme, boy. It is the extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Him and Bill Paxton and Twister, they are both the extreme.
What would you say? What would you say about Azrael?
Azrael is, they actually updated him. I think okay.
They updated in New 52.
Yeah, I think he escaped. I
want to say he was better in No Man's Land.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I agree with you on that one. Not when he was in Nightfall and but
yeah, sure. After Bruce came back, as soon as they put him in No Man's Land, is when he actually became a lot better.
Justice League Odyssey, a book that came out a few years back, I think that redeemed Azrael.
I think most people forgot who he is at that point.
That's because they just used
wait.
New 52 Jason.
Connor Kent. Is he a part of his time?
What
do you Black Cat say?
What were you saying, Black Cat? Superboy is more in the product of his time. What were you saying about Black Cat?
Is just got replaced by Red Hood as the angry guy that doesn't kill like that guy.
Now, Phantasm, a couple other people are bringing up Dazzler. Dazzler was updated, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was okay. But after that, everybody tries to, grunge is in, so we're going to make her grunge, or ska is the new music, so she's a ska artist.
I like the rock star one she has, but not the one where she had a shaved head. Like that was they made her look like
the Max Visaggio years.
Well, and again, what kills me is they forget that it's not just music. She can transmute any sound into life. So, she doesn't have to, God forbid at the time, she's a singer, but she, just stay a rock and pop singer. It's the easiest thing in the world to do instead of just
walking with her and just use that as a power play.
Yeah, certainly could.
Azrael was a better fit in the Doom that came to Gotham than Green Arrow. I have not read that yet, so I don't know.
I didn't the movie.
The movie has Green Arrow. I don't know what the comic books.
Yeah, I've never read it.
Yeah,
I now want to read it. It looks and sounds pretty damn cool.
Yeah, the movie was really good. The animated, I like the animated movie. But now that I learned that the writer is actually Warren Ellis, I want to read it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I wasn't going to talk about this while my wife was in the room. She just walked in. Hello, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Hi, Mrs. Englentine.
Everybody saying hello. Hi, Gail. Hi, Mrs. Englentine.
Tonight.
What's up? Anywho, we were talking about your birthday, and will there be an auction tomorrow? Yeah. I told them that we're planning on it, but if you want to stay out later, we stay out later, and we'll do the auction on Monday.
Like I said, I just want to know if there is or isn't. If there isn't, that's okay.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna see the birthday. And what birthday?
Say again? You want to just do a dinner on the way home from picking Elizabeth up? Okay. So there's going to be an auction tomorrow, guys. Let's make it 8:30. All right. That way we give a little time. But yeah, there will be an auction tomorrow. US One was a product. of the 70s, some kind of abilities that CB. It came out in 1980 something, but yeah, it was very much a trucking thing. Team America, of course, being off the not Team America. Was it Team America? What was that the motorbike one? U.S. I don't know. Anyway,
no, I think you're right. I think it was
Team America. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was very much product because of Evil Knievel. Human Fly was really based on somebody back then. That didn't translate very well. But look, we're guys here. We all like boobs. Boobs are good.
Yeah.
Boobs are good.
On women that were born women.
Yeah, not on me, but on women, yes. Well, it turns out, long time ago, in 82, there was a comic book that came out. And they got sued a little bit.
Oh no!
One, because of the fact that they drew all their characters to look like Archie characters, and two, because they decided to name the book Cherry Pop Tart. Well, guess what, kids? Cherry Pop Tart returns in Vault Comics crossover. Vault Comics has revealed that Cherry Pop Star, originally Cherry Pop Tart, will be appearing in the new Money Shot Comics Again comic book series, launching in April. In her first comic book crossover appearance, first published in 1982 and created by Larry Wells, this adult-oriented comic series, Cherry Pop Tart changed its name to just Cherry with its third issue, after threats of litigation by Kellogg's over the Pop Tarts trademark. Okay, maybe it wasn't a full-on.
Hey, look, there's grunts back there.
Right. Wells draws the comic in a simple style reminiscent of Archie comics, though the content is rather different. Yeah, it's porn. The comic was published for 15 issues from Last Gasp, then Kitchen Sink, and finally self-published from Cherry Comics. The character returned in 1992 in Cherry's Jubilee, and a later comic, Cherry Deluxe, featured a story by Neil Gaiman as a result of Cherry appearing in several free speech censorship awareness campaigns. Cherry Pop Tart is among the largest selling titles from underground comic scene, porn comics. But this is the first time she's appeared in someone else's comic book. Money Shot is the sci-fi comedy about a space explorer who seeks out new life and new civilizations and get jiggy with them. Now the aliens have come to Earth, and that will now mean an appearance by Cherry Pop Tart, as drawn by Menage a Three's Giselle Lagasse. Alrighty.
Get Tim Seeley's.
Well, his name comes up. Tim Seeley says Cherry Comics were a formative force for me. They were a forbidden fruit on the top shelf of the comic store. Really? They had them on the shelf in the comic store?
Okay.
The ones I went to had them like in the back. Alrighty.
Yeah, usually in the back behind a curtain.
Right.
My shop won't even, as far as the one I go to, my main shop, for what was the one? Blood Honey, or what it's called? Not Blood Honey. What's it called?
I don't know. I don't.
I'm getting confused with Cyber Frog.
You're thinking of Gun Honey.
Gun Honey. Sorry.
Gun Honey. Okay.
Yeah,
Gun Honey.
He keeps those behind the actual counter because the covers.
Let's see. Where are we?
Well, this might actually be a decent Tim Seeley book. The independent title.
The little piece of subversive history to be found while thumbing long boxes. Yeah, that's what you were thumbing. Larry Wells' eternal balance of sexy and satirical helped me realize what an adult comic could be. It's with great reverence that we welcome Cherry Pop Star to the pages of Money Shot for our tale of billionaire greed and text obsession with stealing art from humanity. Money Shot, featuring Cherry Pop Star, will be released on the 26th of April. So there you go. I thought that was kind of fun when I saw that she's making a comeback in somebody else's book. Figured, hey, that's news. Let's talk about that.
I'm having good news for some negative news for once. Yay. Hoping that things sound well. Maybe there's not a big truth. If I learned something for once.
Now, here's a question. How many people just went, wait, what? Cherry who?
I want to do it. Wait, what?
Oh no, I've heard of her. I honestly am not sure if I've actually ever read or seen the comic book in the wild. So
I did.
I never heard of it.
Actually, there was a point. I thought it was funny as hell. So yeah, I actually had a subscription. They don't hold up. It's one thing when you're a teenager and you just become legal to buy all that stuff. Oh wow, that's hey, yeah, and you don't have the internet everywhere. It's another thing if you're just looking at it and it's like, yeah, okay.
yeah. So there was a good question posed earlier.
What?
And it was, let me see who. I'm going to give credit. So Phantasm asked, okay, next question. Which comic book character do you feel should have had a permanent death?
Man. I'm should have stayed a long time ago. She should have stayed dead. Never came back to life next to Gwen Stacy. No, she never come back to life.
Okay, no, that's a good choice. I thought her death in 400 with that one very bad line notwithstanding was a very good death.
Yep. I approve. I love 400. Because 400 handed to this.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, LK? What's a character you would say needed that permanent death?
Well, I mean, I go back to I think one of the originals. I mean, despite there being been good stories written about it, Bucky should have stayed dead. I mean, that was an impactful moment, and he stayed dead for decades and decades. And yeah, Winter Soldier's been good, but
I agree with you. It seems like, and because there's not really been a lot good with him afterwards. So his death was cheapened and brought back for basically a gimmick story. It was a good story, but it was still a gimmick story. All right. How about you, Evil Black Cat?
I would go with Jason Todd.
Okay.
Jason Todd?
I was going to say Eric is still alive, so he doesn't qualify.
Right. So you would still have Jason Todd dead, like no Under the Hood and so forth.
After Under the Hood, aside from maybe Red Hood and the Outlaws from Rebirth, there hasn't been any good stories with him. It's mostly revolved around him having the dilemma of whether he should kill, whether he shouldn't kill.
Yeah, they've been doing that for about 10 or 12 years.
He's just had the same story over and over again.
All righty. How about you, Vank?
I don't know. I just got back. What are we talking about?
What is a character who is a character you think should have stayed dead?
Spider-Man.
Which one?
Back in the other story, just because, man, if he knew the shit that was coming his way, he would have gladly stayed dead. But honestly, other than Spider-Man, I would say Aunt May. There's no reason.
Yeah, that was Tevia's choice. That's a good choice.
It is.
For Aunt May.
Yeah.
Well,
what'd she ever do to you?
Aunt May does currently in the comic books does not serve a purpose for anything.
Yeah. There's a few people saying it in the chat, and I think it's a great choice. Barry Allen. I think Barry Allen was a better martyr than he ever was a character.
Damian Wayne.
Yep. I realize the real world was you made Flash right now, and the one for Jimmy Adams.
Barry Allen.
Off the Flash book. What the hell?
Okay, hold on just a sec. You talked, if you don't mind. Barry Allen in Crisis gave his life for the universes to live. It was a noble death, and afterwards he was remembered fondly by Wally. Wally was the Flash for the same amount of time as Barry when they brought him back. I think he could have just kept going. I think this is Wally West's time. Barry Allen should have stayed dead. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people from that era that's in comics, like EVS, like the other guy, I think Gary, I'm not sure whether it was Gary Frank or Ivan Rice who said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all claimed that Flash sales were tanking around that time, and they were throwing whatever the hell they could to make it stick. Like even put Impulse in the Flash suit for a while.
Yeah, that was horrible. By the way.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's why they just went. We brought Green Arrow back. The sales went up. We as an Oliver back, sales went up. We brought Hal back. Sales went up. Why not just bring Barry back?
Well, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Everyone who died fighting Onslaught. I actually don't remember who died on, but thank you very much for the super chat.
Everyone that
Died
was the
on
mutant.
it was X-Men,
That-
not X-Men, but Avengers, Fantastic Four, and Iron Man. And,
okay, so basically the Marvel universe.
Not
I
all
would
Marvel
I will say
Everyone
this:
that wasn't a mutant.
it does make me think about the other character. I would say is Jean Grey. I think
Which
she should
one?
have stayed dead.
The clone, the vampire, and then the young Jean Grey.
You know what? You're just stating the case.
Yeah, you see his case. He's saying there should have been any clones, nothing like that after.
None of
characters
that.
gone,
Jean Grey, when she died in 137, that's it for Jean Grey. Yeah, I think, in all honesty, Jean Grey being brought back kind of ruined comics. And look, I get it that there were deaths in the before Crisis in DC,
Yep.
but that wasn't any kind of real continuity. Jean Grey was the first. Jean Grey was the first real big character to come back after Death, and after that, Death becomes a spinning door. What do they call revolving door?
Ronnie, I disagree. Spider-Gwen, when she was actually written by anybody but the Team Seeley, was actually a good character. And it's an alternate universe. She would have fit perfectly if they would have kept the 1610 universe, having her cross over, in Angle Miles.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
She's 65, not 1610.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, if she could travel to 616, why can't she just go to 1610? They easily could have done that. I don't understand why Marvel had to kill off the Ultimate Universe. I mean, I understand it because they're probably upset that was probably selling better.
Yeah.
I still maintain it's just
Hold on, guys. Evil Black Cat was talking.
Yeah, she is still in 65. She doesn't show up in 16. She rarely shows up in 1610.
She was so for a while in her own book.
For a while when she was eating Miles,
and then Champions too. I thought.
Yeah.
Now,
but she usually just hangs around her own universe.
Not anymore. No.
Like I said, it was a good series. Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen. Yeah. And like I said, if anybody, I think it was Jed McKay actually writing it. The last series.
Yep.
Now, Ron Rugg is saying Superman.
Oh, yeah, that's Superman.
That's some bold stuff. Gwen Stacy should be dead. We could solve that easy. She could have a sister or a cousin. I have a cousin with the same name, and I have, and he's younger than me, says Cartoons. Oh, and thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Thor, Cap, Stark, Fantastic Four died fighting Onslaught. Hulk lost his ability to transform. So you would have wiped out the entire Marvel universe. I don't know if I like that or not, because knowing what's to come, it could be seen as a mercy killing.
As far as killing off Superman, I mean, it seems like that was a cheap ploy. Let's kill him up, and then they realized he screwed up because nobody liked the other characters after that.
Actually, that's not true. People like Steel. People like Connor Kent. People like the characters.
Steel?
Yes, Steel's great.
Okay, aside from Wally West, who has been established, all right, a lot of people are, that's their Flash. Aside from him, who is a legacy character that you would not mind taking over?
I know one, and it's one hurts me, but I have to say it.
If Wally West is dead,
normal.
John Kent?
Superman does not work. That's kind of Superman.
For the Flash? Are we talking about legacy characters for the Flash, or just any legacy characters?
Any character that had taken over for a little bit. Who do you think? Who would you not mind if it was permanent?
Oh, now I'm permanent.
Dick Grayson being Batman.
Is Batman?
But I mean, if we're gonna do future stuff, it should be Damian.
Okay.
John, when you go to naturally, not accelerate age of a bullshit like the seats.
Yeah, but we want John written by Tomasi, not.
Yes.
I'd rather have Connor actually, because Connor is being ignored for John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah, John, I don't care about the character.
What are you saying, Black Cat?
Like, other than Kid John, I never really cared for that character much.
The John I knew was
good as a kid. Other than that,
that John I knew.
It's I take him or leave him type of thing. I'm
Because
agree
I
with
would have had,
Venkman on.
yeah, and like I said, the way you would have done it is had John being the sidekick to Connor.
Yeah, like that could work. I'm saying I wanted to have it.
Connor should have been growing up as Superboy, and you should have promoted to Connor to Superman for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Connor grows up. I'm not sure
He
whether
was
that's
going up. He was going out in Japan, and then Bendis came in and screwed everything up. No, but that's not true. New 52 screwed everything up. Then Bendis came in and screwed everything up with his whole Young Justice book. It sucked.
I
The
didn't
funny
mind
part
it.
is that I don't think Impulse is ever gonna grow up either. He's the only character I've seen from the Flash that kind of stays with the age he is.
No, they regressed him in age. They made him 2 years younger now.
As I mean,
Yeah.
he's not. You're not allowing him to grow up. Like Wally's actually become like almost. He's got kids, man. He's like
amazing.
if I didn't know what his age was, and just looking at it, just not seeing the Flash. Sometimes though they draw him, he looks like he's the same age as Barry.
Yeah, that's because of slow Speed Force aging, but
Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel was the best legacy there should have been. It should have stopped after that. After Marvel died, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if Marani will.
Well, Marvel's still dead. She's still dead. Never come back.
What did Marania say? Did you say something?
Well, no, I was going to say I don't know if Marani would hate me for this, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Rhodey.
Riri Williams?
Rhodey stay Iron Man.
Oh, she said.
Yeah, when Tony Stark was drunk and he took it then. I got to tell you, I would have been for it. For me, it's Kyle Rayner. Pretty much the same reason. You had a weird but interesting take with Hal Jordan. Kyle Rayner comes in, and for like 10 years, he's people's Green Lantern. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat saying all deaths should be permanent. It's death. I agree. Thank you very much once again for the super chat. I would love to have them take death seriously. But once again, Joker was supposed to be dead in the first issue that he appeared in. Second story. So it's been here forever. It's just as soon as you decided you were going to have continuity, as soon as they weren't just stories for that issue. Yeah, I think they should have started taking death a little bit more serious. They didn't.
But
they had a chance to create their other universes with New 52 and with the Ultimate Verse. They decided to fuck them up, both of them. But what you going to do?
Honestly, Earth 2 was double permanent until Earth 2 got blown up. Twice in fact. It died at the wanting convergence. No, it died during World End. Then died again during convergence. Then came back and Earth 2 Society was stupid. And then I don't know how it happened after that.
Yeah, they brought back Legion, Jay Lucian, who's saying I still think it sucks that Connor didn't get a full run with Legion or whatever version of Legion is superheroes.
I agree.
Legion, if they decided to do Legion 23, I think Connor Kent would make a decent.
Put Connor back in the superhero and G.H. John. I said what's going to do that is the whole idea, and I mean it. But John didn't tell me all love. Not this imposter. I'm telling you.
Devya, it is never going to happen.
Don't be so sure. Jimmy and Flashbook, just give us John Kent back. The real John Kent.
That is the only thing you're gonna get from now on, because the backlash from de-aging him, DC do not want to deal with that.
And also, that Super Sons is gonna be an alternate. That Super Sons is gonna be an alternate reality. It's not gonna be our reality. So, where's the Green Lanterns go?
Baby.
Green Lanterns never really had a legacy. They're all called Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That's because they're a police squad.
Exactly. They're just basically a group of guys. It's like.
Well, he did, by the way, star in the book. Hal was dead. He was the star of the book.
Yep.
John Stewart, you could say, is a legacy character, but the legacy character is Hal. Alan Scott is Green Lantern.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if you want to go all the way that far back, Hal Jordan, but even from there, you also have John Stewart, which especially with kids your age, Venkman, yes, I called you a kid. You were in your 20s when the Justice League came about, right? Or at least about to be.
The cartoon series.
Yeah, a lot of people brought up with the Justice League cartoon think that John Stewart's the Green Lantern anyway.
Yeah, myself included. I do love John Stewart. He's the Green Lantern I grew up with.
It works.
The funny part is that Carter Hall is his own legacy character because he dies and reincarnated and becomes Hawkman again.
Yeah. All righty. So I've got one more thing to talk about. I know we got some video game players here. This kind of excited me. It's basically one of those things where the title is all the story, but here you go. Upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game based on The Last Ronin.
Yep.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle graphic novel Last Ronin is getting a video game adaptation similar to God of War.
Yep.
I'm interested. I love the graphic novel. I like. I've been liking some of the comic book adaptation video games and such.
Did it say what studio's doing the game?
No.
See, again, it's all going to be about.
It's revealed by Polygon, everyone's favorite heroes, I guess. That's why Polygon is the only. I don't know if that's a video game company.
Well, no, that's
no. Polygon not video game. Polygon did the news source.
Yeah, is a
with an unnamed studio and isn't due for release for a few years yet. As for what kind of game we should expect, the senior VP describes it as a third-person action RPG similar to God of War. So there you go.
But we're not talking about the great thing. Is the new Doom Patrol book is going to feature a Beast Girl.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, I mean, it sounds interesting, but it sounds like it's way off, and there's no guarantee that it'll actually get made. I mean, it depends.
It's kind of like me with superhero movies when I see them.
Well, it ultimately depends on what studio is making the game, and if they come up, it says it's going to be based on the Last Ronin, storyline, but there's so much into it. I mean, just in recent times, I can tell you there were a couple of great Star Wars games that, were proposed and in development that, got, canceled. So, it sounds good, but again, that's definitely a wait and see attitude on.
Okay.
Sorry, Jay. Hey, you know video games. It's realistic.
So here's a question.
Vaporware is a real thing.
I'm taking Batman and the new Spider-Mans off the table. Superhero games. No Arkham City, no Spider-Man from the last couple of years. What were the good ones? And what was the one that what the honest?
I'll see Injustice.
Say again, Vank.
Injustice.
The first or second, or just this franchise?
Well, I did like the first one, but if you want to be more recent, the second one is the most recent one.
Yeah. Well,
But
okay. Was there one where you played it, you wanted to play it so much, and when you did, it was like, oh, that sucks.
I wanted to see what the storyline was. I don't really care about. I hate Mortal Kombat games.
Okay.
I don't hate the verses. It doesn't really for me. I prefer story mode. I'd be immersed into where you actually be the character. But there hasn't really been any comic games out. I mean, as far as consoles, I'm aware of.
How about you? Okay, what's a good and bad comic book game that's not Spider-Man or the Arkhams?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk, bad, I mean, we can go all the way back to the Superman game for the Atari 2600.
Was that one you played though?
What?
That was the Meg games.
I believe I have that cartridge downstairs somewhere.
I have it still. And the comic book comes with it too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have the comic book with it.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make it tougher on you guys this way. No Superman, because that's the one everybody goes to. What was one that you actually played, and while you're playing it, you're going, "Wow, this sucks," but you keep playing it?
Oh, well, I mean, both good and bad. I mean, I would probably say there was a multiplayer MMO game, Marvel Heroes Omega, that lasted for a few years, and it was one of those kind of simple top down or 3/4 perspective MMOs, but it was fun to, choose a hero and level them up and, collect all these, power items and spend that currency to, get different uniforms and stuff. So it fit that need, but was it actually a great game? Not really, because it was pretty repetitive. For that, so I put that in that category as something really bad. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a second. I'll turn it over to RDB.
So you have your hand up. What would you say is good and bad?
Given that not Spider-Man or
Arkham.
or
Yeah, because
Arkham.
those are the easy go-tos.
Yeah, they're too easy. Okay, I think Gilman and the Open Lines games, those games are good. One was amazing. 2 was fine, but 2 bit Civil War with not a good story. Really interesting game. 3 I think was good, but
What's a bad game?
a bad one? Oh, there are a lot of bad ones.
Okay. How about you, Black Cat?
Oh, I was gonna say I just thought of a bad game.
Wait. I got one. I did research. Marvel Avengers.
Marvel Avengers, the one that came out a few years back.
Well, just in the last 2 years, that actually
sucked.
got shut down.
I got to the first Thor battle and I was like, I'm not gonna play this shit. This looks like a big game of boring. When I'm playing Thor and I'm not feeling powerful, no. I was done with that.
It should not be that hard.
Yeah.
The Avengers game got it. The Marvel not my biggest team, actually my biggest team, but one of my biggest team, you can make the team great. But you said with a boring story with the Inhumans, no one gets that Inhumans are so boring. You made MODOK the main villain. Why MODOK? He's not, he's boring. I'm getting him a MODOK. The one can't give him a MODOK with him.
What was the bad game, okay?
Well, I was gonna say the Marvel Avengers by Square Enix, but there was another one, and I can't remember the name of it. It was another Marvel game, but I recall it because it had original characters in it, and it still wasn't.
Contest of Champions?
No, I know.
Contest of Champions.
Rise of the Imperfects.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, that was not
Rise
a good
of the
game.
Imperfects. Yeah, I remember that one.
With the fighting.
That was a game. That's a bad game. I finished. Like I went through it and I was having fun, and I finished it, and then I thought, I'm gonna play that game again, and was so bored.
Yeah,
there was no replay value. What about you, Evil Black Cat?
The story mode, and you're saying I'll get the story credit. I feel like the story. It's better all the burn
Okay,
backstory.
Tevia, you're cool and all, but your name's not Black Cat. Let's move it on over.
I'm gonna go with Gotham Knights.
Haven't played it yet.
All right.
I did.
I'm gonna go with both categories because the story is not good enough that I'm actually bothering to finish it. But the open world is something I like, so I'm just going around beating up random thugs in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Evil Black Cat, I got to ask you, how much fun is it to play as Turner?
I haven't gotten the updated DLC.
Oh, are we going to talk about? You know what? That's a great topic. Let me go through some comments. Rhaegar is saying Injustice 2 is superior to Injustice 1 in many ways. I agree. Lego Marvel Superheroes was my childhood, says Austin. I finished quite a few of those. I love Lego games. Gotta agree with you. Guardians of the Galaxy came out. I tried to play a little bit of it. It was on the Game Pass. It's okay. It wasn't bad.
I love that game.
X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, freaking awesome. I had it for Sega, but he's Phantasm saying for SNES. I had Superman 2600, had no idea what I was doing. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse was so good, says Rhaegar. DC Universe Online was incredible. Oh, hey, Ash, what's up? DC Universe.
It's me.
Hey, Ash.
I figure instead of reading your comments,
straight,
you could tell why you liked DC Universe.
Dude, that game I was a holdout for a long time because back then when it came out, I wasn't even a DC guy. I was like, DC. So I had played the other 2 big superhero MMOs, City of Heroes and then Champions Online, I think. And both of them were fun. But honestly, DC Universe Online, if anyone has to play, it's really fun, and it really captures DC, and you can make your own characters, and they really capture like you build your character off of kind of one of the DC archetypes. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of creativity to what you can do, but
Because and they had the dark metal and they had the death metal as well. They had both stories.
yeah, I had stopped playing before the metal stuff, but what I liked about it was it really captured the idea of like being a hero in your own story, because you're in a city and you're running around and like events are happening and you're going and you're solving, like you're fighting crime. There'll be events that are happening. You go and you like fight off the event. You're like, oh, Starro's attacking the city, and you got to go and like, and so it really puts you more than any other game that I've played, puts you in the the comic book. And the idea, I love making your own hero. It's fun to play as Spider-Man or Batman as your favorite hero, but for me, I like the creative side of like creating my own heroes, and then seeing all these other players, people make their own heroes, and some people, obviously people make stupid heroes. Some people are really creative too. And then it also allows you to interact. So you can interact with the Justice League and do stuff with them, but you don't actually have to like be them. You can be your own thing. It just has a lot of stuff, and they've really, the developers have supported that game, just constantly releasing new expansion after expansion after expansion. And it's free to play. However, I recommend anyone that, when I played it, I was like, I just paid the $15 a month optional thing, because when you pay the $15, it unlocks all the bonus, everything.
Yeah.
If you don't, you just get like the base game, and like you only get some like base power sets to work with, and it's still enough to play in the beginning. But if you really enjoy it, anyways, it was a ton of fun. I just kind of had, I don't want to say I had my fill with it, but other games and things come along. But I've been really thinking about the game, like, man, if anyone was like, hey, Ash, you want to play? I'm getting, I was like, I'll fire up my account again, because it was.
I'll try to find some headphones or something. I've never played it, except I played it once. I got off it took me forever to get off the Brainiac ship at the beginning, and then I was then I flew around the corner, picked up a crime, and got killed. And I was like, you know what, F this game. So yeah, if you don't want me to play it, I'm not. I got the point. You don't want me to play this game, so I was like, all right, I'm done.
You sound like a game journalist.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Rhaegar saying Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale's pretty good. Also, the Marvel Contest of Champions for the phone. Oh, thank you for the $1.99 super chat saying if you do MODOK right, he is a good villain. Exactly. There are no bad characters, only bad writers. Phantasm, I agree with you. Wolverine Adamantium Rage was not.
Oh yeah.
But the movie
was Wolverine. I love that game. That game was awesome.
So Rise of the Imperfect says Geek Hero is not a bad game. I had fun the first time. I'm just saying there was no replay.
Yeah, I had fun with that well going up.
Let's see. Aquaman for the GameCube. I still own that game, by the way, for the Xbox.
You do?
Yeah. I have never made it off the first board because I can't find my way out. All right. I mean, the movement is horrible, and everything looks exactly the same. So, yeah, I can't wait. Lego Marvel Superheroes is good. Maranya saying the best and worst role playing is the Marvel RPG with through TSR. Justice League on the 6th gen set was okay. I didn't mind the Xbox version, but then again, I had some broken teeth removed, and I was all on dope. I just came back from it, and I was like, okay, let me play it, So, yeah, I was taking pain pills playing my video game. I thought it was good. I don't think I've played it sober, though.
Yeah.
Which Injustice did you find better story-wise, but harder to beat? Well, then that would have to be the first one. The second one, I by the time the second one comes around, it was just like IGN, Glinteen.
All right, so can I give my picks? Or were you
get your picks in there, sir.
I was supposed to go through okay, but somehow I get skipped.
Okay.
All right, so
you had to save
worst
the best
game.
For last, RDB.
Worst game.
Worst game. Iron Man on PS2.
Oh,
that movie time game.
I heard that was pretty bad.
A kind of cool story, but the flight controls were horrible.
Yeah.
I got to the second level. You're supposed to protect Stark Tower from the attacks, and there's There's no way you can like 1 versus 5 million guys coming at you with those horrible controls, trying to fly in the air and shoot down the missiles and stuff. It drove me nuts. Favorite game though is Punisher.
That is so much fun, dude.
Now hold on. There's two Punisher games. I'm not talking about the NES one. I'm talking about the one that's based off of Welcome Back, Frank. It's basically Max Payne.
Yeah, it's on the Xbox, and it's freaking awesome.
It is the movie.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that game.
No, actually, it's seriously the movie. What am I saying?
Yeah, that was the one I was going to choose. The Punisher is so much fun to me. The bad game that I did finish it, so it's not the worst game, I guess, but Catwoman was also one of those games where I played it, loved it, had a great time with it, and then I went back and I'd noticed all the flaws and everything. But the worst game that I wanted to love was the Tick on Sega Genesis. Yeah, they had a Tick game. And it was one of those hallway fighters, where you're walking along and the bad guy comes up, so you have to fight him. It was the same villains, the same people to fight every damn time. And it was so long, so boring.
Ronald Ruggs bringing up Superman 64. That is a game I wanted to love.
We took Superman 64 off the table. It's too.
But I'm just gonna say, I really love they had all the voice actors from the show on there. Clancy Brown is Lex Luthor, and you had Tim Daly is Superman. It was just I wanted to love it so much. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so great. And then I was like, as I started playing more and more, it's just like, come on, can I? It's like it was like the Meg for me. You had everything there, and then you make it so freaking ridiculously hard for people to even try to fly around and then try to do this, and then because you don't even have all your powers yet, so you have to like fight through levels without certain powers. And I just kept realizing too, I was like, man, you had to fight a Superman going against 2 tornadoes. It was like,
wait,
I was like, what kind of hologram is this? Like Lex Luthor's like, yeah. But I mean, you had every single Superman villain from the cartoon series in there. His Royal Gallery is in there. You're fighting against. I just kept realizing, I was like, dude, if they ever remade this, oh my gosh, I hope they just change the combat system, as far as that. Because look at the Spider-Man's website again. I wonder what game you're playing. Sucked until you got to the PS4 game. They finally figured it out.
One of the last video games made for the Sega Genesis is a comic book game. I've been looking for it. I found an engine. It ended up not working. I found screenshots. It does exist. But since it was one of the last ones, there's so few actual physical copies out there. It's called Lobo.
Wait, why did a Lobo game?
There was a Lobo game. It was one of the last things done for the Sega Genesis. It got buried. And I've only seen the screenshots. I've never actually seen gameplay. I've never played it. I want to. I heard it was shit, but it's a Lobo game. I want to play it. I want to give it a try.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's bad or not.
Yeah, one game I wanted to mention because it's a superhero game, but it's not based on any comic book. Was this awesome PC game? I want to say it was probably late '90s or early 2000s. It came out. Anybody ever play Freedom Force?
I played a little bit of it.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it was such a blast game. It had a great art style to it. It was very Silver Age style because it was set in the 50s and the 60s. But you could customize the heroes and give them different power sets. What made it really neat for the time was the backgrounds had quite a bit of destructible items on it. So as you're going around, so it was kind of RPG a little bit. I mean, you pick up a trash can, throw it at a bad guy, sort of thing. Really fantastic game. Had a really fun, Cold War type story. You're battling, some Soviet, bad guy. There was a sequel. It wasn't quite as good as the original, but it was really a lot of fun. I think it might be available on God.
GOG,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, if it is,
Yeah,
it's
you can pick
definitely
that game up for
small.
super cheap. Anyone who's interested, and if you wait for a sale, like you could probably pick it up for $1.
Really?
I would definitely recommend, and it'll run on any PC because it's an older game. But don't let that sell you short because
Maybe I could probably play that game, Bonnie.
it's
I
got a
gotta
lot of
say,
fun.
talking about their Austin P's bringing up Spider-Man games. I don't think I've played a Spider-Man game I didn't like.
Oh, actually, wait, did one Spider-Man I hated. One Spider-Man I did not like. Amazing Spider-Man. Both movie time games. They
Oh, you
both
know what? I didn't play that
suck.
one. So yeah, that one, and
No,
I think there was one a Venom game back in. It was like Web of Spider-Man or something
Yeah,
like that.
Web of Shadows.
Web of Shadows was that because there were two that came out back to back, like
Web of
Future's
Shadows was the
Edge.
symbiote.
Say again,
Web of Shadows was where the symbiotes took over in Marvel Universe.
Tevia. What would say again?
I would say
Victor?
Web of Shadows is where the symbiotes take over the Marvel Universe.
That was it. That was the one. I didn't play that one, but I heard because I heard it was so bad. The
It was
one
bad.
where he goes to all the extra, all the weird dimensions.
Shattered
and
Dimensions.
That's Shattered Dimensions.
That one I loved. I loved that one though.
I would recommend playing Shattered Dimensions and also playing Edge of Time.
Anytime said underrated game, up because with P. David, I love that letter. I don't want him to die. We don't. But he
What?
wrote that story. It's 29. I was 29. I love that kid. Actually, it happens to be in the movie. Yay! Also, boy, Cross Spider-Verse game made a part already. Woo! And it's Spider at the end 29.
What?
2 months later,
Others,
woo! Like, I am so happy. Also a bonus. Also, that movie give me a married Peter with that daughter, Mary Parker. Hey, Marvel, take note. If the movie can do that, give me a Mary Parker, I do the father at the end, give me a daughter, Mary Parker in the movie. Why the hell can you guys support the fucking truth and give me Mary Parker in the Many More universe? I'm waiting.
Now I do agree with Phantasm, Maximum Carnage. That was I like that one as well. So there were some good. There were some good games. Geek Hero is right though. Atari 2600 Spider-Man, not one of those. However, for the time, it was not bad. This is one where you're going up a building and you're swinging and Green Goblin's dropping bombs on you. It's a very cheap game. If you play it now, you might not get it because, of course, it's an Atari 2600. But for the time, it was actually pretty good.
Sounds like a reskinned Crazy Climber.
Yeah, but back
is.
in the day, you got a lot of reskins.
Yeah, we seen a Hulk game. Yeah, we just Captain America game.
Yep.
Iron Man game. I don't remember.
Oh,
yeah, speaking of bad games.
Alita, we actually had finished that topic. What they did was they put out a freaking trade paperback where the books that they're reprinting were all out of reading order. And we talked about the decline of DC Comics, how, as you say in your last message, they don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, it's, I mean, look, I don't agree with what you said about it's just business that they listen to the fans and then they stop. No, that's not just business. That's stupid. It's stupidity. It has nothing to do with business more than it does ideology. That whole ESG thing. We're saying, hey, do this, this, and this. We're going to come back to the fold. And they say no because you're racist. Because if you don't like this, then you're a phobe or, that has nothing to do with business. That has to do with the whole ESG bullshit. But yeah, I absolutely agree with the part. I don't think they care. And it's not that they don't care about you. They don't know you. They don't know who the lead of battle. They don't know who Anglantine is or RDV. They don't give a about that. They don't even know you.
Actually, I'm friends with Jimmy. I call him Jimmy.
The whole thing is they don't give a care about the quality. They don't care in this shows. They don't give about putting out a coherent product, and that's the big problem.
The problem is that they don't. They have some coherent products. They don't care about putting out other coherent products
well,
around
there
it.
You go.
There's a good start. Acting good. Superman amazing. Flash John fantastic. Then we'll find it if it has Mark Wade amazing.
In the 70s. In the 70s, Stan Lee said something, and it should have gone to every comic book writer's grave with them. This is the one thought in your head. Every comic book, whether it's a trade paperback for Justice Society whether it's issue 500 of Spider-Man, whatever. Every comic book is someone's first.
Yep.
So it
that too.
needs to be presented that way. It needs to be presented in a way that's going to make a kid or an adult, whomever, look at it and go, holy crap, I need the next one. Every issue is an advertisement for the next issue. And unfortunately on both sides, Marvel and DC, although I'm going to steer towards DC for most of this, because I think they took a harder turn than Marvel did ever. More than any, they have dropped the ball on that. They forgot that every issue of any comic book is an advertisement for the next issue.
True.
Yeah. Well, England team, I mean, we know for a while that DC doesn't care about quality anymore because, I mean, they keep giving Riley Rosmo a book.
Well, it's not just that. It's that they kick Jeremy Adams off of Flash.
That made me mad.
What the? Yeah. So, and not only that, it said, man, the Wonder Woman fans, if there is any, are now pissed because Becky Cloonan is off and they're putting Tom King on there. And not only that, it's just the point where Superman 2 wasn't even that good as the first one. Now, that being said, I will wait for the third one to pass judgment because it was just kind of like, my thing is with Superman, I don't care for this stupid new kids. If you want to have Superman being held up by other family members, you can have John, you can have Kara. But you get, but it's at the point where I want Superman to be on his own, not relying on Team Superman. I don't want the freaking Joss Whedon universe for comic book heroes.
No. Well, Venkman, one thing I can almost guarantee is that the Tom King Wonder Woman book will sell more than it currently is. You know, as bad as we all think about Tom King, I mean, it's kind of been proven he does have a floor. He has a core of fans that seem to buy whatever he writes. So
here, I mean, Zdarsky, I liked him on Batman when he first started out, and now he's starting to get to the point where I just don't care what direction he's going. I'm leaning more into Ram V's Detective. As soon as Jeremy Adams stopped off of Flash, I'm dropping that book. And I told him, I said, I'm going to start picking up Green Lantern because Jeremy Adams is going over there. Why should I stick around for someone when they said they're going to change the tone of the book, meaning they're getting rid of the family then? We just killed Tavia. Woohoo!
That's right. If they destroy the Flash family, yeah, you could be goodbye. Because I don't want to kid again. I can't stand that because we just got back on track, and you're never gonna get rid of all that progress out the window for a horror movie.
Just remember, DC doesn't care which 10 books you're buying from them. If you shift around and go, I'm not going to buy these 10 books, so I'm going to move my money over to these 10 books. As long as they're DC books, you're still giving DC money, and you're still supporting this crap that you hate.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Going ahead and say a piece, and we're switching topics.
I can't wait. The Spider-Man comics are horrible. Holy shit! Is that what Spider-Man? It's gonna be train wreck. Like John, I'm up with horrible.
Trico, Jay, and Demantis, his story.
I love that book.
That he is basically the guy who wrote The Last Hunt. It basically is adding on to the story, afterwards, Matt.
Also a bonus. Last Hunt did people made it back together, but it's even cooler. Man, pregnant with Mandy Parker. I love that story. Last Hunt is set
right. So somebody brought it up earlier. I believe it was LK. We got to talk about something that's made the pirate side. I don't know if it's out yet, but the first 2 episodes of Gotham Knights has been presented to us.
Oh yeah, it's out.
It's out officially. Yeah. Okay, let's talk Gotham Knights then.
2 weeks. I haven't looked. I was trying to remember, rack my brain. I know there's some TV site that does ratings. I haven't looked to see what the ratings were for the first.
Have you watched the show? Anybody here watch the show?
Yes, I have. Yes, all right. I have watched.
I watched Bad Woman. That was bad enough. I cannot go into
so I heard it's on. All right, so I check it out. I watched the first episode, and I don't know how to. I mean, you see it around every freaking buddy who has a review of this. It says, what the hell happened? What honestly is this? This sucks. So there's this kid named Tyler or something or other,
Turner Hayes.
Yeah.
and he is the adopted son of Batman. Batman gets killed by the Court of Owls. So spoiler alert. And
okay. I'll be killed watching it.
so obviously they couldn't get the rights to Nightwing or Robin. Well, no, they've got Robin, but instead of being Tim Drake or anybody there, it's a black version of Carrie Kelly, because you redheads, we're not going to have a freaking ginger ever in Hollywood. Yeah, Jesus, when was the last one? Was it really freaking Ron Howard, the last ginger they allowed to be famous? But
yeah, but he had to get behind the camera.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Once color came up, it was like, nah, dude, you need to be a director.
We'll always have Cynthia Hendricks.
Yeah, I know, right?
We also got what's her name too? Bryce Dallas Howard.
So this kid, Tyler, whatever, one day there's these kids and they're breaking into Wayne Tower, and it's the same day that Batman gets killed because they're going to be framed for it for some reason, these kids. One of them is Joker's daughter, and I don't even know who the other one are.
It's Harper Row and her younger brother.
Harper and Colin.
Okay.
Or Colin.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is how much I give a shit, because I haven't gotten all the names down right.
It's all a bunch of characters no one cares about.
Yeah, it's very much, and they don't make you care about them either. It's a piece of shit show.
Harper
It's
also
horrible bad.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. It's I'm trying to figure out how
it's just
how
weird
can
because Harper is part of the Bat family and so is Carrie, but like at different stages of Batman's life.
Well, Carrie was not even in, she's a whole other story. She's another universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't mind the Talon. The Talon looked okay. It just, you have, everybody is a martial artist. Okay, I get the Taylor character. They're saying, oh no, he paid to have Bruce Wayne killed because he wanted his money, which he already had. And the cops are going on that so freaking hard that somebody who was like, oh, hey, we got to solve this case. We got this person. It's the flimsiest evidence on the face of the planet. Okay,
they kind of answered that question in the second episode. Somebody claimed that Bruce went to see his lawyer and was changing his will, and with the idea that he's taking Turner out of the will, therefore
but they have no evidence of it. It's all freaking circumstantial. It's all there. I mean, there's nothing to it. And my gosh, but the worst part of it is the characters. The worst part of it is I feel like I'm babysitting when I watch that show.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, Gotham Knights.
Oh, I was watching with my dad and my brother Arrow season 1. Dude, just why we like it, the CW anyway? Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
First season of Arrow is so good. It's
yeah, I know, right?
What happened?
Lois and Clark is good. This one is just
yes.
Yeah.
And
but Lois and Clark is Elseworld. This is weird.
Yeah.
This is like everything wrong with the CW.
Well, I was gonna say too, Superman and Lois. That's not a Berlanti show, right?
It's not Arrowverse.
No, not Arrowverse. Not more. It's not Earth.
Yeah.
Baywatch Nights better than Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my biggest problem, which I just figured out. I've seen both episodes. I honestly am having a hard time remembering anything from it.
Misha Collins.
I know that there was a scene where she tried to pawn off a coin or something like that. I know that the Talon shows up, and I like the Talon. They did him okay, but oh my gosh, it was bad. And of course, yes, they did have the part where don't they dead name him? Don't dead name him. Yes.
Just crazy.
Well,
they finally did something right, though. They made a show worse than Batwoman.
Well, as I was going to say, it seems like every Berlanti show gets progressively worse. Yeah, things I remember from watching the first 2 episodes so far It's
Oh,
just
we
the-
lose cartoon.
Yeah.
No, it's
Sorry.
just the idiotic stuff. You know, the things like so far, I swear they have only referred to the Joker's daughter as the Joker's daughter.
Yeah,
Even
like
when
she
the
has
police-
no name.
Even when the police arrested her on that, you know, for this shadowy, super secret, you know, underworld criminal organization that controls Gotham, quite a few people seem to know the name of it and know that it exists, even though despite they have the Alice wannabe, which is basically what the Joker's daughter is. I mean, if you watch Batwoman,
Yeah.
she is 100% basically playing the Alice
That's
character.
what Pixel said. Like, he's like, at least Alice was likable. This guy,
Yeah.
not.
At,
you know,
at some
but she-
point in time, they're going to have to come up with a name Duella Dent.
Yeah, well, you see, it's funny. I mean, you see it in the credits, and actually, if you have the closed captioning on, you know, it'll come up like, you know, Dwella, and then what she says. So it's like, oh yeah, it's there, but for whatever reason, nobody seems to know it. It's just other really idiotic things in terms of, Misha Collins, Castiel from Supernatural is
Who's-
playing Harvey Dent, who's supposedly the DA, even though he acts more like a police detective.
Yeah,
than
he's
district
walking around
attorney.
like a detective, not a DA.
I
They don't have Gordon. That's why they can't afford Gordon.
I found the whole head thing incredibly stupid, especially again, this is supposed to be some shadowy, criminal organization that, works and pulls strings behind the scenes, and you don't know who's a member of the Court of Owls and all this stuff. And so, in the first episode, of course, we find out there's dirty cops and they try to take the kids
Yeah.
out and they fail. And then
But I think you're just being silly if you think that a whole bunch of decapitated heads showing up in Gotham would raise any awareness.
Well, but it was being delivered, not Scream style. God dang it! What was the
Seven.
Seven.
There's like
Yeah.
all the packages, all the mail packages in the thing are supposedly heads.
are sent to the Gotham City PD, and it's like, no, that wouldn't happen. Yeah, they might decapitate them, and then they would just disappear, and everybody going, where did all these detectives?
Forgotten that is Lost Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a dumb show, but the first episode definitely was so horribly, laughably bad that it was actually entertaining. The second one was not as entertaining, so we'll see what happens with the third one, but I could definitely see me quickly falling out of it, and just kind of, watching, catching summaries on YouTube just to see how bad it is.
I'm concerned about you. You're talking about watching a third episode. I even watched it. That's how bad it is. I watched that one.
Well, I refuse to watch it. I refuse to watch it.
Well, again, I mean, the thing is what's funny is of course that DirecTV here is still in a dispute with the station owner that owns both the Fox and the CW stations here locally. So it's not on DirecTV. So I wind up having to watch it on demand a day later.
Well, the other thing that's crazy is the fact that the CW is still it's going under new owners, or they already bought it, but nobody knows what's going on if shows are being renewed or canceled.
I can't.
I didn't know my show is going to survive. That's the one show I'm going to survive. All that show can die at 5 or I care.
Instead of this crap, with all the hype around it, if they were going to put something out this bad, with all the hype around it, I think they would have gotten more viewers in a one-night showing of freaking Batgirl.
See, now my thing is, why isn't this show on HBO Max next to Titans? It's the same quality.
Titans is better than this shit.
If you see and again too, is something I think we have to call out too. I mean, the production value is, let's say, at best, it's equal to the last season of Batwoman. I mean, I don't know how much Berlanti is getting anymore, but he's got to be skimming at least 50% of the budget for himself.
Are you sure? Because I don't know, man. Season 2 was still better than season 3 as far as production value.
Oh, so in episode 2, the police raid the Batcave because by episode 1, everybody has learned that Bruce Wayne was Batman. And then, of course,
let me say one thing about the CW shows. I worked for a entertainment big blog here, a site, and what's happening is Canada doesn't have more that law of money for productions there. That's why we don't see much more production in Montreal and in Quebec. What we see in the past, it was like
for a while it would seem like
$5 billion per year. Now it's nothing. It's like it doesn't have this anymore.
Where am all that money? Is it gone?
I don't know, but CW used to it went to Vancouver because it was cheaper to film there than it was.
Yeah, Vancouver. That's the city they go.
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, there. Basically, many of my favorite genre shows from the '90s and early 2000s were filmed in either Vancouver or Toronto.
But if you watch closely, you can recognize each town.
Yeah, I mean, England, you had to laugh at the Batcave and the Bat Computer, especially. I mean, the Bat Computer in the Batcave was basically a set of keyboards.
I think it said TSR 80 on the side of it.
Yeah, a set of keyboards and 3 monitors.
That's it.
What? Yeah, and it didn't look like the monitors were actually connected anywhere.
Is there a floppy disk drive?
No,
we got up to it.
We didn't get a zoom close enough to find out. But I mean, it's just.
I did see one thing on the screen. It did say your party died of starvation. Apparently, that was there.
When they showed, I was gonna say, when they show any dinky Bat Computer, even Batman 89, we look at the cartoons, the comic books. He's got like a theater size screen there. And but for some reason, it's impossible for them to actually just put a monitor that big. We have 75 inches, bro. We can't.
Arrow Season 2 had it, this big screen looked like entire theater, but nothing like the cartoons. But I think it was the biggest, closest we get to the Bat Cave. Nolan movies didn't have that.
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to have a computer go there. You could put a fake TV. You can put CG in if you want on the screen, and have the computer voice talking to Bruce like it did animated series.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's hilarious. I'll be generous and say that maybe the quote unquote computer screens were like 40 to 42 inch monitors at best.
It's a tiny little computer.
It was a large desk in the middle of a cavern, basically. It was just so laughably like, you've got to be kidding me in terms of just how scant the production.
So was this the Batcave underneath
Terry Kelly and Butcher 70 Brown, two favorite characters in Batman now who like, and they adapt Bluebird. Didn't they put those characters in this show?
Well, yeah, Stephanie's in it. Carrie Kelly by name is in it. And then you've got quote unquote the Joker's daughter, and then Harper and Cullen Rowe, and then the Bruce Wayne adopted son that we never knew about. Turner Hayes.
Now there's in Neil Adams' run, right at like towards the beginning of his run, I remember there was a story where Batman adopts another guy or takes in another guy. He's blonde haired. And he turns out to be a real asshat. But he does become a Robin. So maybe this is that guy. I don't know.
No, this is, from what I heard, is supposed to be Tim Drake, but they didn't have the rights for Tim Drake.
Just show us freaking Batgirl. We all want to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly at the very least. Don't show this crap. Show Batgirl.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll say thank God that Tim and Damian were spared.
Yeah, no kidding. Phantom is saying, did anybody know that before Halle Berry, Ashley Judd was in the run to play Selena Kyle in her Amazing Purple Cat? I would have loved to see even Halle Berry in that purple outfit. I like it. I do. It is true. Jay is pointing out Halle Berry never played Selena Kyle. She was like Precious Prince or something like that. One of the big problems. I watch Catwoman and I think someday they're going to make a Catwoman movie. Oh, you're very wrong, because the time that they made a movie that was called Catwoman, it bombed like the Enola Gay. I saw an interview with Michelle Pfeiffer a couple of years back where she said that playing the part was challenging, especially with the cat suit, but she would definitely come back.
I think a lot of people just don't want Catwoman without Batman.
I think that was one of the problems. But even if you're going to do a Catwoman, they took her out of Gotham. They took her away from the Batman lore completely. She was the only character. Like, it wasn't even like it was Catwoman and she was having a hard time with Two-Face or something. Everything was not Batman.
The perfect way to do it, if you want to do a perfect Batman story, just do the Telltale story. That was
there
awesome.
You go. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I started playing the Fables Telltale game.
I love that game.
Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us is a great game.
Yep. Oh, Rhaegar's pointing out the Enola Gay was gay. The Enola Gay, for those of you who don't know, is the airplane that delivered Fat Man and Little Boy.
Hiroshima.
So when I say something, so when I say something bomb like the Enola Gay, I mean, the big nuclear explosions. So, yeah.
Atomic.
Thank you, Atomic.
Born in 1997. So you're kind of too young to watch the Batman Beyond, when it was live, and same with the Justice League. Or if you did watch Justice League, you're kind of little.
In 1997, yeah, he's Dalton's age. I mean, you got DVDs.
Sure, yeah.
Right now, HBO Max is, if you're a DC fan, you like the cartoons and all, HBO Max is your streaming service.
Oh, that still irritates me that they censored the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker DVD.
They don't have the unreleased version.
Let me say one thing. Do you guys know why Velma wasn't canceled, as everything got canceled in cartoons?
No.
Yes,
because her production wasn't in Canada, and HBO and Warner closed every studio in Canada because of the laws changed there, so they don't have money for the government. The only reason why Velma wasn't canceled was because Mindy Kaling basically production team paid for it. So because she paid for it, no one cares. So it's like, the other ones, we don't have money. This one already is paid, so we're not gonna shit can this.
Oh, the only good Scooby-Doo guy we've seen was Crypto and Scooby-Doo 2. Which I know that movie on the rebuy, it wasn't online. Shocking, that movie's good. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, but the whole reason it's money in the end. They closed like 22 studios of animation there. Also,
Velma, when it first came out, but by the second episode, it was already ordered for a second season.
And it's train wreck. It was a whole show. I know what
he said.
It's paid, so they don't care.
Yeah. I mean,
well, there you go.
Oh yeah. There, yes. In the Return of the Joker, they changed that. The deleted scenes. They changed it because it was too violent. The scene where Tim shooting the Joker. They changed it.
Well,
that's why we can have nice things.
Right. Well, okay, so hold up. So what happened originally was actually the theatrical release had it changed, and specifically it was because it was considered quote unquote a kids cartoon, because that's how they consider cartoons. They said, oh, we can't show blood, we can't have people actually being shot and killed. So they took the blood out and they kind of made the guns. God, I want to say that like the comical like bang type guns, and so then people just fell over. But then there was an outcry, and when it came out on DVD, there was a quote unquote original version. I have that DVD
where he shoots it. He shoots it into the prop bang. We do the bang. It says bang. Tenet goes into him, but then the blood comes out of his mouth as he coughs.
There's that. But there's also earlier scenes too, where Joker gets fed up and shoots two of the henchmen, and they actually show blood because they were shot.
He only shoots Gronk.
He only shoots Bong in the chest with the gun.
Phantasm, are you talking about seeing more of the comic book run? Because there was Batman '89. They talked that they did the whole Harvey Dent Two-Face story.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't see that.
Electric Shock is no joke. Yeah,
Or
that's
Joe
true.
Magic Johnson. You didn't show it's going to get canceled. The guy didn't show me get canceled, but then see the one that's not going to continue.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you a current show based on a graphic novel, which I didn't realize until I saw the credits, that I'm actually really enjoying right now. I don't know if you guys heard about a show called School Spirits.
No,
So it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus, it's the best and streaming right now. It has like what's his name, Yellowstone. It has The Judge with Bryan Cranston. My dad really likes this show.
I'll stick with the DC stuff.
Yeah,
I'm loving the DC stuff over on Disney Plus. I know a lot of people think it sucks because of the new shit, but you could get the old Spider-Man cartoons, the old X-Men cartoon. I've been watching Spider-Woman 1977. I'm loving these two, Disney Plus and HBO, just because I got all my DC and Marvel stuff. Some great cartoon. So Prime, by the way, has all the Ultraverse shit, as well as Tubi. Tubi has like the Ultraverse cartoon, the Nightman series, and so forth. There's and Tubi also has Captain America and Captain Marvel serials from the 1930s and 40s. So there's a lot of stuff out there. You can avoid the stuff you don't like if you're not a big fan of the MCU or don't want to deal with the Star Wars new shit. You can still check out the old stuff. It's still out there. Give me my Spider-Man and his amazing friends. I'm fine with that.
Give me Spectacular Spider-Man back, damn it. I want Spectacular Spider-Man season 3.
And Disney Plus has Gargoyles. There you go. I've been told so many times I got to see that Gargoyles show. But guys, we're at 2 hours and a half, so I'm gonna call this quits and go say hello to my wife. Thanks for hanging out. By the way, tonight I did not know we were trying this. I did open it up, but Tevi has been sharing this onto his own channel. That's why we have Michael Brent. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello, and Elita Battle Angel and such from the other channel. Yeah, I was wondering, like, what the hell's that link by them? And then I realized Tevi is linking it to his channel. There you go.
Yeah,
which, by the way, any of you guys can do now. I forgot to tell you, I do have it set up. So if you guys wanted to link these live streams to your channel as well, you definitely have my permission to do it. So next time we know. All right, but guys, tomorrow, let's say 8:30 for the auction. Gail said she's fine with just going out to dinner and coming home. So we'll do an auction tomorrow, starting at 8:30 right here. I also, by the way, have been working on, I did the Women of the Justice League, and I have been working on the next one is the Women of X-Men. So,
cool.
So I've got 21 of them all ready to go, and we could do a tier list. I'm trying to find a day that we can do it. Maybe Sunday, maybe Wednesday. I haven't figured that out yet. But on Tuesday, also, we're doing Chapter 2 of the Marvel game. So show up for that. It was a lot of fun. And as always, guys, thank you very much to everybody for joining in. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night.